What legacy are you leaving behind?
The Black Family First program aims to reconnect the family at the root.
Healing both ancestral and personal trauma by way of creating bonds through communication, understanding, reason, compassion, connecting oneself to family, friends and the community.
Reminding the older generation to be role models and mentors, and in turn, teaching the younger generation the building blocks on how to live, love, and respect one another for a stronger family union.
That way, the next generation bears the fruits of our labor and our experiences. Black Power starts with your melanin, uniting the Black family first.
There's a rationale, there's a reason behind it. You know, one of my guests, and I'm sure both of my guests have said this, that often pharmaceutical companies don't actually deal with the source of the issue, but often with the symptoms. So it's very surface in terms of how it combats diseases and disorders in our bodies. However, with regards to holistic approach, it includes and it encompasses the whole person, not just aspects of the person, but the whole person. It takes an African-centered approach to our health and well-being. And if we want to look back in our history, we just have to look at the Egyptian historical, the medicine men, Hotep. What can I say? So I give thanks for being in the moment. I give thanks that I'm here, that I had this opportunity to interview this man. In actual fact, I've been having conversations about him for a couple of months now. And so I am so thrilled that Dr. Abu has given up his seat to allow me to get to know this man even more so and talk about the fantastic work that he's been doing. So with that said, please bear with me, my people. What I'm going to do right now is just line up their mics, and I'm just going to drop another one from our very own Maccabee. Because that's what we want. We have to speak it into existence.
Exactly.
Well, give thanks for that. So I've just checked our mics are working perfectly well. So I'm going to kick off with the interview in about a couple of minutes and just continue to brief, and I'll be right back.
Saturday, actually Friday, I left Jamaica. Friday. So right. I've been just, and then it's non-stop since I've landed, but I'm having a blast. I mean, I was telling him, you know, he's saying we're busy, my partner, Ross Alkaline. The same similar thing, rubbing down the oil. We basically get the onion oil in there. We get some, for him, because he had already at stage pneumonia, which is the last stage of life.
Oh, did he?
Yes. He was hanging on. I checked his oxygen. His oxygen was 88. A normal person is 95. A normal old person is 95.
Right.
A normal person is 99, 100.
Yeah.
Like myself. I checked mine, I checked his. Mine was 99, his was 88. I'm like, I keep checking the machine. This couldn't be right. This man should be dead.
Wow.
With his pneumonia. That means the pneumonia has taken over his lungs.
Yeah.
And no oxygen can come in. It's basically a walking dead.
So,
and the night we gave him the medications, we gave him all the things, and his wife was there vigilant throughout the night that he's not going anywhere. So you see, the next day I came back.
Yeah.
Because we're not leaving him alone now. We're going back to make sure he gets rid of this mucus. She showed me all the stuff that came up, all the glass and mucus and all this stuff. Then she gives me, then I took his oxygen again, and it was 98%. He has now come back from the dead.
So tell me, considering the approach that most hospitals across the world has taken in terms of treating people that have got the COVID or system and putting them on those machines, what's your opinion on that?
They've taken the Gustavo's approach.
Okay.
The death camps approach.
Oh.
They're putting them on a machine. Why you don't put someone on a machine when they're not machine? They're human, they have cells.
And here, the COVID.
Yeah, but they have cells. So why don't you fix it from the cellular point of view rather than a machine that's going to burst your lungs open with already full of mucus?
Well, recent studies that I've seen, I can't quote where I got the studies from, but we are seeing a shift in opinion as to how effective that line of treatment was, especially for people in the UK, and whether that has really increased the rates of death, whether it's contributed naturally.
Well, in the US, we've already seen the research. 80% of death was contributed by the machine.
And there is research to support that.
Yes, yes. The deaths that happen in Elmont at the point of, what they call that, zero?
Yeah.
Zero, whatever they call it. When it's
Ground zero.
Ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those people, even some of them weren't even supposed to be on the ventilators. They came in with anxiety, they're coughing, they're worried because the air is full of this bacteria, which is not even a virus, it's a bacteria. This air is full of this bacteria because whoever sprayed in there to get these minority people sprayed it there, right? And it's spreading. So, because I heard the first story that they went to a party and there was one person and then it just like, madness, nothing happened. Right. Just like they said, oh, AIDS came from Africa because some black people down there had sex with monkeys. And AIDS was built right there in America. Was orchestrated right there in America. And some of the guys who take it down to Africa to inject it in the people accidentally get it in them system and well, I don't want to say it on the air because they'll come after me. Yeah. But those men who travel and go places, flight attendants, they spread it as they go. Because at first, the original one was of that nature. We don't want to get in. That's another show we do.
Okay, most definitely.
But, you know, so basically, that's what's happening. They spread it in these areas, the minority there. A lot of people come in with anxiety, and they put them on the ventilator because they can't breathe. They can't, you know, and it's after some of them died, then they realize they didn't even have COVID.
So tell us, from your perspective, what is COVID? And Brother Alkaline, I'd love to bring you in here. And I'm going to ask you to do your introduction in a moment. But let me just quickly ask you, just break it down for our community. What is COVID?
COVID is...
Oh, the coronavirus, rather.
Yeah, the coronavirus has always been with us. Over 120, 200 years. Because, you know, a lot of the appliances that deal with disinfectant and cleaning, you'll see it on there. Kill coronavirus.
Yes.
So it's been with us for a long time.
Yes.
So why we never have a pandemic with it if it's right there?
But what's the drama now?
And we're always exposed to new bacteria and viruses. The only way we're going to get ahead of them is by being exposed to them. We cannot run and hide from them so that when they catch us, our immune system is already down.
Is there some argument in this crowd immunity that the government is talking about, that the majority, the more people that get it and are asymptomatic, that would help build up our
of course
herd immunity?
You would need vaccines if you just are exposed and you deal with it just like a common cold. We've been getting common colds for the last thousands of years.
So is it a family of the common cold?
It is. It's an influenza. It's a family of the influenza.
It's a cold.
So it's a cold.
It's similar to SARS.
Right. And MARS, which all came from China at some point. N1, H1, and all that stuff. N1, H1 killed over 60 million people in the U.S. 6 million people in the U.S. During Obama time, and there was nobody even talk about it, and that's more people now. Nobody talks about it. It was never a panic. It was nothing. So why are they making a big deal about 800,000 people dead worldwide? When 4 million people died last year from flu, why did they never make a big deal about that?
The only thing about this, the difference within this one is, when it actually attacks you, if you can stop it from going down into your lungs, you're okay. When it attacks you, it moves so fast that it builds up mucus in such a rate, it stops you from breathing. That is the difference between this one and
getting your oxygen.
Yeah. So it cuts your oxygen straight away. So if you're not a healthy person and your immune system is not strong, you are in deep, deep trouble. So when you go and they give you on ventilation, you're already full of mucus.
So when they put you on the ventilating machine, it's counterproductive.
It's making it worse.
Right, because it's supposed to be clearing up enough areas to get oxygen in. but it's actually because there's so much mucus there already. There's no oxygen to get in because it's already clogged with mucus. The key thing is to get rid of the mucus. That's what we've been doing in Jamaica with my patients.
How have you dealt with it?
Right. So when I give them the onion and garlic to smell, and it goes down in there and hit, just like it's almost like taking
those things that used to wake sniff.
Right.
Sniff.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
when someone faints and then you put it under your nose.
But it's so strong.
Right. You get the mental lipstick kind of reaction. Right. The Vicks and stuff like that. Right. Those things would help just because in the sinus area is where the mucus is, so it breaks it up very fast.
Yeah.
Now imagine all that mucus that you get in your sinus when you have these sinusitis or this kind of cold, these yellow things that comes out. Yeah. Imagine your lungs is full of all of that.
Wow.
So that is what it is.
So it gets to your lungs very fast. And the death is usually by pneumonia, suffocation, suffocation where you
drowning
yourself.
Drowning yourself.
You know. So why would you put a ventilator on them when it's only gonna keep compressing it inside of the lungs? You need something to get the mess out of the lungs so they can breathe.
All right then. So let me move over to you, Ras Al-Kalain. Please tell the listeners your name and what you do.
New Beginning proudly presents the ethos of Black Families First, a Black History Weekender annual celebration,
which is comprised of our kings, queens, scholars, speakers and global families within the Black community to embrace the DLA Rites of Passage International Exchange Programme for youths aged between 15 and 21 years old.
This is in honor of the late, great, rest in power Dr. Llaila Afrika. The online fundraising event will be held on the 15th and the 16th of August this year. So please, give what you can to invest in our youth.
The two-day event will also be broadcasted via Black Ice TV7 on Facebook as well as YouTube. Black Power starts with your melanin, uniting the Black family first.
With no feeling of control, as we wonder what it is and we wonder what it was and we wonder where we'll go.
Greetings, family. We're back in the house once again. We were trying to do some stuff, but we ran out of time. Some of that recording is historical, but you know, it's gone over the time. So some of it we will never see again. So, Brother Rich, over the days, how have you found it?
Listen, it's been a big build. Most enjoyable time. It's been tiring. Let me put my camera on so people can see me. It's been tiring. It's been, you know, it's just been interesting though. Like, I've enjoyed listening to back-to-back information on different parts and aspects of the Black experience. And that last conversation, again, people need to understand how special that panel was, because those elders don't really come together that often. And to just listen and be a fly on the wall and listen to them go back and forth and talk about things, as they said, that aren't new. Yeah, they're not new subjects, but again, to hear their experience and how their perspective is, I think that's what's needed. And again, for all the people that don't realize it, this whole Black History Weekender is in support of the Dr. Llaila Afrika youth exchange program for rites of passage. Yeah, this is what it's about. So when you're seeing all of these great names, teachers, scholars, tour guides, YouTubers, all sorts coming on and dedicating their time, they're dedicating themselves to this concept of, one, having a rites of passage for our young people, and two, making sure that there's an institute in place to initiate this constantly. Because again, we're not raising money for a one-time trip. We're raising money so we can continuously take our children, our youngers, our young adults, and put them through a system where they can be edified as they go into adulthood. So that's the process. Riggsy, just throw the link up, please, for me into the chat. So I can.
I'm trying to get into now.
Share that over. I'll put as well in the chat for this part for people to be able to come onto the panel, voice their opinion of the day, ask any questions possibly. Talk about any of their experiences of what they've seen, what they've watched. We may have a few other people come on maybe a bit later, but for now, this is a part where we're just leaving it open for anyone to come on. We're still encouraging people to donate to the cause, and the main reason why we're here. We're still encouraging you to obviously like the video and get that out. But this is the part where, again, we're posting the link. Anybody can come on, voice your opinion, speak about the Black History Weekender, about rites of passage, about our children and our young people. Whatever you need to say, come on, this would be a good time. If not, we're going to play an advert in a piece and, you know, just keep it moving for a hot minute before we finally close down this big weekender. So yeah, Riggs, if there's anything you want to say, say. Post the link as well, please, for me into the chat. That will be appreciated.
I'm doing that right now as we go. I want people to come and give me their reflections of how the week has been, the 2 days of tremendous scholars passing through, giving their information. Hold on. Yeah. Are people coming into the house?
So don't forget, people, as you come in, hit the like button. If you've enjoyed today's events, you've got any positive comments you want to say, any queries, this is the time. Jump on, speak your speak. I know we're still going to do our Tuesday build for next week, but for now, this is another opportunity where we're opening up the panel to the public for you to come on, say what you got to say, voice your opinions. This isn't about full-blown debate, but this is definitely a part where we're encouraging anybody who wants to say a few words and speak to what they've been watching for the last 2 days. Definitely we're encouraging you to
we've got a doctor from Jamaica who may be coming on board. Hold on. I'm gonna call them now. Just give me 2 seconds. Play a video for them.
Let me just find something for the people then. Let's find something for the people. Come in, people. Hit that like button. We're just trying to work out a few other people to come on. The link to come on right now on this panel is in the chat room. Feel free to jump on, speak your speak, voice your opinion about how you feel about the Black History Weekender, how you think it's gone, what was your favorite part. Yeah, this is it. The link is there. It was an excellent Black Eyes. Let's highlight some comments here. It's an excellent Black Eyes. Both days very powerful. My favorite was Brother Minister. Micro presentations. These people. Please, thanks. All right. So enjoy Brother Minister. Big up to Brother Minister. Saw him earlier listening to the elders. Big up to you, brother. I have 2 more videos from Brother Minister, so look out for that content that will be going up on the channel. Definitely. That will be coming. Big up to you, Melanin Goddess. Been supporting hard for the last 2 days, so appreciate it to you. Hosting, commenting, chatting, debating, all of it in the chat. Much appreciated to you. Much appreciate. Come on, people. Come in, jump on, speak your speak, voice your opinion. I'm really interested to know what the people were listening to and what bits of different conversations resonated with you. What was your favorite part of the day? Have you subscribed to Black Eyes TV? That's another big thing. Yeah, if this is your first time coming over here to watch some of the events that's gone on for today or tomorrow or yesterday, make sure that you subscribe before you disappear again so you can get them alerts in. Who's this jumping on? All right, that's all. What's good, Melanin Goddess? How you doing, babes?
Peace, and blessings to the brothers on the panel and everyone in the chat. I just want to drop through. I know you guys are still working on who the next person is coming through. So I just wanted to show some love, show some support. I think these last 2 days have been great. Even though I'm not in the UK, I feel like we're all one family, and young Black men having opportunity to have a rites of passage. It doesn't take away from the collective being that those young men are actually in the UK and not in the United States. Like, I still support your initiatives that you guys have there. Because like I said, for me, it's all one family. It's not all of this separation that seems to kind of trickle in. So my on the good side, let me start with the bad side. I do see that aspect it seems like it's very easy to trickle in, where there is a separation, where we had this whole identity politics that trickles into our community. I think even a couple of speakers, even when they were talking about Black, they even said Black or African, or more, like, just trying to be more inclusive in their terminology, because if you say black, some people say, "Oh, I'm not black, but I'm African." Some people who are African say, "I'm not African, but I'm black." You know what I mean? And just really trying to encompass as much of the family, and like I got family that live in Washington State, I got family that live in North Carolina, family that live in Florida and New York, and I also got family that lives in damn Panama. You know what I mean? And and I might have family that live in other countries like Costa Rica or Colombia or something like that. So um, but on the good side, I would say I learned so much stuff about the diaspora, and it just made me feel even more so part of a larger family. And when I learned about um, the brave men and women of the Haitian Revolution, that didn't make me feel any less connected to them, even though I don't speak French, I don't speak Creole, and I'm not from Haiti. And to hear about all of the bad man and bad women of Jamaica and like all of the stuff, I was just like bigging them up so much. Like the Jamaican family was like representing, like people were just really saying all of the awesome things um that the ancestors in Jamaica of them fighting back and them not just laying down, which is sometimes that's a negative characteristics that it seems like we just acquiesced to being enslaved and we were just weak and we were just overtaken and that we didn't rebel. And I just think that over the last 2 days it was very, very empowering to hear the history, the raw history, to hear of the wives of these strong black men even being uplifted. I mean, it was just so many aspects to me that I just wanted to jump on and show the brothers that organized this event. Brother Richie and Brother Terry. The family definitely appreciated it, and I hope that people continue to donate so that young men will be have the opportunity to attend the rites of passage program that you guys have in the Congo, because we know that our youth need it and our youth need to have that knowledge of self, and our youth need those examples of strong black men, and to have a brotherhood and to be able to transition into a brotherhood. To me, it's priceless. So donate, $5, $10, whatever you got, $20, $100, whatever the amount is. Every little bit counts. So yeah, that's all I had to say.
No doubt, sister. No.
Greetings, family. Greetings, family. Greetings, Venerated Goddess. Thank you for that contribution, and we appreciate you every time.
No problem. I'm going to go back in the chat. Peace to Dr. Yakub Oliver. Blessings to you. I'm going to go back in the chat and I'll look forward to your contribution.
Okay.
Thank you, sister.
Yes, our big brother, the one and only Dr. Jacob Oliver. He's got news for us. He's bringing the sunshine of Jamaica. How are you doing, my brother? You're on mute.
Wait. You're muted, brother. You're muted. We can't hear you. Wait. Still can't hear him. Uh-oh.
Oh, don't let this start again.
That at the beginning, we're still not hearing you. It might be your mic. Is it picking up? No, we can't hear you. You can hear us. Yeah.
I have to go out and come back in.
Yeah, he just dropped out. He'll be back in shortly. Give us a second, people. As we said, the link is in the chat. Anybody else who wants to jump on, just like Melanie Goddess did, voice your opinion, talk about your favorite part of the day, please feel free. Take the link. There it is. I'm posting it right now. Feel free to jump on. Yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, hit it now so we can get this video thumbed up. Hopefully our brother will come back in. It's been a long but good day. Sorry, I'm just typing at the same time as talking to you. Brother Minister be joining. Do you know what? If Brother Minister is around, I am, my door's always open to him. He knows this. He's always welcome to come on. I did want him to come on from yesterday to do a little bit of a Q&A, and time didn't allow it. So yeah, if Brother Minister is around, in fact, let me even text him, seeing as the people are calling for him. But yeah, as I said, this part, anybody can come on, voice your opinion about anything or any part of the day that you've seen. Feel free. I'm just texting him right now to see if he is around. All right, I've just texted him, let him know. Thank you, my sister, for asking. Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy my brother Paul Abenga earlier. That was a good build. And the fact that Tony Warner stuck around, much love to him as well for that. Because again, these people are very busy. They're doing big works in the community. So to have them all come and lend their support has been really powerful today in edifying. Yeah, that's right. I did like Black Poppy Rose as well. Sister was light, but then she was sitting in Jamaican sun. So, that was her excuse. All right, let's see if we can get this doctor sorted. He's trying to come on. Let's see if we can get him in. Every guest today was uplifting. Give thanks, Black Eyes. Appreciated, my brother. Appreciate. I hope everybody who is coming in, if you didn't hit like on this video, hit it now. And if you didn't hit like on the last link, when it comes up, please go back. If you go back to rewatch it or take something in, make sure you hit like, then share it out. And don't forget why we're here. We're here for the International Youth Exchange Program under the name of Dr. Llaila Afrika, promoting and dealing with rites of passage for our young people as they go into manhood and womanhood. So yeah, that's what we're here for. So again, if you haven't donated, kicked in £1, £2, £3, £4, whatever, please do so. That will be appreciated, because again, that is what we're here for. That's the whole point of this whole weekend. So yeah, we're pushing the envelope. Where's Konsu at? Manhood Academy had a whole load of problems. I was speaking to Brother Konsu earlier. If you're around, this would be a good time to come on now and fill in the gap with what you was meant to say on that Manhood Academy piece. Brother Konsu, come in if you're around. I did enjoy the conversation with the NOI brothers. That was very nice. Definitely flowed neatly. Yeah, I enjoyed that immensely. And again, it's very nice to have the support of a big organization as that, who recognize what we're trying to do in the community. I don't know whether we're going to be able to get this elder on from Jamaica. He keeps dropping out. Terry, I'm assuming you're dealing with that. But his mic is not even allowing me to connect, so he must have a problem with his mic. Hold up, All right. Okay. How you doing, brother? Let me see. Say something. No, you're still silent. We still can't hear you. Maybe if you maybe try headphones. I'm not sure. If you have a pair of headphones, maybe try that. That's the only other thing I can suggest. Possibly might make a difference. What's good, Lady Divine? What's good? What's good? What's good? Lady Divine, where you at? You should be jumping on here to say a few words. Yeah, you're regular on the YouTube scene. The link is in the chat for anyone who wants to come on. But come support, speak. What was your favorite parts of the day? You know what I'm saying? What do you have to add to the Black History Weekender? If you've got any sentiments, if you believe there's a certain part of history that we should be focusing on more, come on, let us know. If not, donate to the cause. Don't forget why we're all here and why we're gathered. Dr. Llaila Afrika Youth Exchange Program for rites of passage. So please don't be here if you're not in support of that cause. I'm hoping this brother can sort himself out, possibly.
May have to use the computer. Yes. People hop on, see if you want to come on, tell us your reviews for the past 2 days.
Hello, who's this just coming on? Unmute your mic, introduce yourself.
Yeah, Ekaleo, it is I, Eleri.
Oh, this is my brother. This is my brother from another mother. How did you find it?
I found it very, very interesting. I remember I was watching the part with Robin Walker.
Yeah.
And I remember him when he was talking about penicillin. And he first showed us the original history, well, the mainstream history, which states that Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. And then he went on to discuss how bones in Nubia, they looked at the bones and they found certain, I've forgotten the name, terrace, I can't even pronounce it. Yeah. But basically, he was stating that the drink that the Nubians were drinking had antibiotics in there. So as far back as more than 1,000 years ago in this part of Africa, the Nubians were using antibiotics in the drink that they were drinking. This was obviously 1,000 years before Mr. Fleming started doing what he did with penicillin, which I thought was fascinating. I never knew about that. I thought that history was amazing.
The funniest thing is, you see, like when Billy was talking about the him being a certain way, and then when they're looking at science and not knowing that how our traditions is full of science.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because they've been looking from a particular narrative, so they weren't aware that.
So you won't be aware of it, and this is what I've always tried to tell about some of our elders. They have been practicing it, but they have their own name, their own concept for what it is, and it's the same thing when you look at the chicken pox and all that kind of stuff, and what was it, smallpox, and they would scrape the skin of someone that's got smallpox and put it under their skin so that they can't get it.
Really? Okay. I wasn't aware of that. But I was really amazed by what he was saying. I mean, there was a lady who came on whose name I've forgotten, and she actually said that the first millionaire wasn't Madam C.J. Walker. It was actually Madam C.J. Walker's boss, Annie Mae or something. And I laughed, and I thought, well, yeah, that would make sense, actually. That would make sense.
That's what I always say, second in command. Wait, Shakara, jump on! Shakara, jump on! So, when you look at certain things, what I've realized, and when you look at people that have ruled, always look at the person who's in second in command or who's the errant runner. Because the errant runner is the one that knows everything more than the person that's on top.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It's funny that it sounds so obvious when you say it, but it's interesting how people can easily forget that and then just move on. It kind of ties in with the other bit of history that you mentioned, which I must admit, the first time I heard this piece of history was actually from Isa, Shia Isa.
Yeah.
And it was in regards to Al-Jahiz, in regards to looking at evolution and creatures all around us on this planet. And he was the Muslim scientist from East Africa. And they were talking about his works and what he'd been doing long before Charles Darwin came about, which I found fascinating.
You know what? The thing about the whole thing is that when we actually look at inventors and we look at people that do certain things, of course, they're not, as a black person, they're never going to announce it.
Is that 100% down to prejudice, or?
And this is where, as I said to you, if they were so racist back then, even when they discovered places in South Africa and said no, the African people could have built it, it must have been aliens. So what kind of stories would they write?
Yeah, that is true. That is pathetic, the whole alien thing, to just distance any form of architectural or mathematical skill from non-white people. You say, oh, it was aliens that did it.
Yeah, because if I brought a black scientist and I brought a white scientist, they'll tell me that the black scientist is a load of crap.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I was blown away by what he did, what he was talking about. I've seen him before on other panels, but that whole thing with the antibiotics and what the Nubians were doing and the skeletons that had been discovered and the things found in the skeletons to confirm, that was amazing. But the other thing I found interesting was when he was showing the video about was it people thinking that the original people from the primates would have been white, but were in fact black. I thought that was normal. I thought everybody knew that they would have been black skin, dark skin. They wouldn't have been looking like Brad Pitt. So, but
that's the illusion that they try to promote to us. And this is why I was saying sometimes we've got to look and put our eyesight in a form of an advertising eyesight, because what their system is very rapid on is the repetition. Like, I don't know if you saw when Andrew Mohammed came on and he was showing the films yesterday, and he will show you how they will change even the shade of the color of the skin. Like, even when you're talking about the Moses part, where Moses was a little black kid being a rebel, to when he becomes the righteous man as a white man.
Wow, I missed that. Oh, and the final thing that he mentioned, which I thought was great, was when he talked about the coins which had been discovered in the northern coast of Australia, and the coins were traced back to the kingdom of Kilwa in Tanzania, and which then gave the discussion that you would have had Africans, that there was a strong possibility that Africans traveled all the way down to Australia, a good 600 years, he said, before Captain Cook. And I thought that was fascinating. So I did a lot of research and I kept finding more and more stuff on those coins that were discovered in Northern Australia. And I'm like, damn, that's That is shocking. Those African coins from Kilwa. How did they get there?
But that's what I was saying to you. And then you're going to tell us that we didn't have no books, we didn't have no records, but yet we've had records from time. But it's just that some of them they're not going to. It's not for public consumption.
Yeah, that is it. Well, I was grateful to. I just wanted to thank you and Richie. It's a brilliant historical show. The information today was amazing. It was really eye-opening. So I look forward to any more stuff you do in the future. So that was it. Take care, Terry and Richie, and look forward to your next show.
Yeah, we'll see. I was going to talk to you about the C1 incident.
That one you
about that story. But
okay. All right. I guess another time we can talk. Or do you want to do it now? But I'm thinking it's more history tonight. Yeah.
But the C1, think of it like C1 and Soul Solid, the connection.
Yeah, I noticed that because C1 was with Lisa Mafia for a while, wasn't he? Yeah.
Hello, how are you?
Anyway, I'll leave now. It was a great show. I look forward to it.
Hey, how you doing?
Bye.
Yes, Dr. Oliver.
Yes, how are you?
Greetings, you're live and correct once again.
So you can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, great. I'm still at the rehab center, so
Okay.
I'm actually if you could see, I'm in the process of working, and you can see I'm with my patient, but he had a urgent situation. I don't know if you know the great Bonnie Whaler.
Bonnie Whaler, yeah.
Yes, I'm here with him right now. I'm doing a treatment, a neurological treatment where he can. He had a stroke the other day, so we're basically getting back his. He's getting back. But my job is to get some movements through his neurological messaging.
Okay.
So I'm just here working on that. So we're gonna take him to the hospital because they're giving him some stuff that I'm not approving and to eat, and so basically he's been throwing up since morning, and I'm just trying to sedate him so that he could. But it seemed like he got an infection from the some of the stuff got into his lungs. So we don't want anything similar to what they. If he was in America right now, they'll say he got COVID.
The great Bonnie Whaler.
Yes, so we don't want him to, we don't want anybody to say, oh, because he has a lung problem, he has fluid in his lungs, which is what the major symptom for COVID is. But the sad thing about the whole thing is, especially with our Black brothers and sisters, is that anything you go into the hospital with in America or any of these places, they're going to label it COVID because anything dealing with mucus and lungs building up with fluid, they're going to label it COVID, which is so sad because last year this time they wouldn't be calling it COVID. It would just be what it is, lungs, fluid in the lungs, But you can tell I'm just not, I don't believe the whole pandemic that they have set up, So how are you guys?
We're good. We've been doing working all day. We've got Shaka in the house, and he's another brother, Jamaican, African.
Awesome. I see you got the great Marcus Garvey. We're celebrating his 133rd birthday today here in Jamaica.
The world.
Yes.
You know what? I'm sure my cousin spoke to me about you, Brother Jacob, the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I've got a cousin called Adisa who's doing some work in CBD, and
right.
And they're planning some health kind of movements in Jamaica.
Right, we are doing that. I'm working with a couple of companies that wants to do some health wellness retreats.
Yeah.
Yeah, using psychoblin, I guess what they call the mushroom kind of high. Well, I guess, and then we'll combine it with some CBD, psychedelics and stuff like that. But it should be fun. I mean, if people can afford it, we'll have different packages. Some do.
Well, I might meet you soon. I'm a SEMA Kemet yoga instructor, so they want me to come down and do some sessions, as a part of the retreat.
Oh yeah, definitely, and we use different types. Ooh, different. You're marketing an extractor right now.
Pardon me?
You're marketing an extractor. You said.
No. I said I'm a SEMA chemic yoga instructor.
Oh, okay.
So they wanted me to come down and do some sessions, and as a part of the retreat. So yeah, I might meet you soon. You know.
Oh, definitely. That's one of the things that I always said. You know, in any retreat, wellness retreat, we need to have a good yoga instructor.
Yes, sir.
Because you know that is where the part of the healing is the meditation, and part of the healing is also, you know, the stretching and the circulation, you know, which yoga is very good for, you know.
That's right. By the
So
way,
yes,
we're
looking forward to that.
Yes, sir. I just want to send some love to Baba
yes.
Money. That's the card. That's the
yeah. We're moving him out right now.
You know, like we're really funding him something there. So yeah, man, big up to the General Bonnie Wheeler.
Right. You know, he's 70 something, and he's hanging there. He's hanging tough, man. You know, to see him as the original energy god. It wasn't Elephant Man. It was Bunny Wailer. You know. You know, this man get on the stage and he's alive and moving for a couple of hours. Sometimes it shows. You know.
Yes.
So to see him in this state, it's really sad, but. You know, we're gonna bring him back. You know, his wife is missing, so that's adding to the stress. She's been missing for a couple of months now, or 3 months. And we're trying to find her.
Wow, I did not know that.
So I think that's one of the reasons why he ended up with the stroke.
Yes, I will give thanks.
But you know, we are, you know, as I said, we're capable here in Jamaica to extend, you know, in life extension. That's my specialty. Working with cell regeneration, cell rejuvenation, trying to get that whole thing, you know, really popular here in Jamaica, because what they have done to our people, oh my God, it's like they have brought us in a full circle to destroy us through health. You know, they're using that technology to depopulate. You know, I say technology because they're making stuff in the lab for us to eat and for us to use to kill ourselves, you know. And it's really a sad situation. So I am pushing the whole, going back to when the days when the Egyptians were using the sun for healing, the energy from the sun, and you know, you don't have to have anything invasive going into the body, like drugs and stuff like that. One of the big problems we have in the United States is that people, the third leading cause of death in the US, and I would think around the world, since, you know, medical doctors and pharmaceutical is so big, is mistakes done by medical doctor with pharmaceutical products, you know, and they, you know, and then it's even higher among Black people because we are not, our body is not set up for those kind of chemicals that they're putting in us through our food. They start with the processing of the food, the what they call it, GMO that they're doing is now gone beyond GMO. It's gone to artificial intelligence, where they can actually program certain chemical that will only affect our DNA into the foods, into the processed food, and they distribute them in certain areas. They know that they will do it in a certain part of Baltimore. They'll do it in a certain part of New York, Harlem, and those places, because they know the DNA that they're going after. You know, so you see a rise in cancer and all these other things among our people. So we need to get the word out that I always say to my patients: if God don't make it, don't eat it. And it's true. You know, you could use that as a guideline to stay off the processed food. The other thing is live food, live cells. Dead food, dead cells. As a specialist in cell regeneration therapy, you cannot have cell regeneration if you keep constantly eating dead food. You know what I mean? Overcook, overprocess, and all that stuff. GMO. You know, you have to eat live food, and sometimes that's very important. You know. So, I don't know if we're talking about the wellness part of the things yet. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm going on about wellness. Are we there yet? Are we discussing that?
We could talk anything we want to talk today, you know.
Okay,
And
great.
you're bringing the wellness part. That's the part. You're the doctor. You come at the right time to kickstart that.
I saw it there. History and wellness seminar.
Yeah.
That's it. We've touched on it. We've touched on it a bit earlier with our mother Queen Fua, but
Right.
from a holistic side. But you're bringing the direct medical connotation. So we thank you for that. Continue kicking the science on that.
No problem. No problem. I mean, as I was saying, the energy is very important. Our body is made up. It's chemistry and physics, and but what the pharmaceuticals and the medical association have done is just basically focus more on the chemistry. So we need to focus on the physical side, the physics side, which includes energy medicine, bioenergetics, using ultrasound and a variety of impetus like cold laser. Some cold laser represents certain rays that the sun would offer. I don't know if you remember, in one of our studies back in the days in Africa, when the folks get older and they get a little more weaker, they would just put them in a chair and kind of wheel them out and let them sit in the sun. And that would take place for about 2 weeks. And then in about two weeks or so, a little bit after, you see the same person just walking back in with the chair, So, we know that what happened there is that the rays from the sun have repaired the cognitive tissues in the body. It has regenerate cells that were like dying, that were weak. And so we're using the same technology. It's just happened that the Russians are the ones who are just taking it to the next level. When I say next level, it's actually using the cosmonaut program for the last 60 years, where they use a infrared MIL, magnetic infrared laser, and basically it's their personal doctors. When they're out in space, they don't just return for every sickness. They treat themselves with these devices, and that's what I've been studying since they made it public since 2009. That we that kind of technology is there now, where you can literally go to the area of disease in the body, which includes from cancer to renal failure, diabetes, and you could actually repair the tissues that are failing to cause these diseases to be taken over the body. So once you repair the tissues in the pancreas and the tissues in the liver, you can actually stimulate a type of insulin for people who are really bad diabetics to get off the insulin. But a lot of the medical professionals, they don't want us to talk about these things because their biggest thing is diabetes and collecting lots of money from chemical drugs that they claim will help. But all these drugs does is actually ruin your body, and one of the major ones, the metformin, makes your heart even swell. So it's not the diabetes that's going to kill you. It's the side effects from the drugs that actually kills you, because a lot of diabetic patients die from heart failure, which is sad because it's from the drugs that they've been given that swells up their heart. So we have to really, as a people, start studying these things, so that we can basically, help our people take their health back into their hands, take their wellness back into their hands. And there's devices now that these Russians, through my contact with them, that they're making, and that we can get to our people so they can have these at home. There's instructions how to use it, how to, heal themselves. And basically, none of these drugs that they tell us is doing the healing is actually doing anything. I mean, what is doing the healing is actually your body. So you want to find the right remedies to put in the body that will actually repair tissues, repair cells, and repair the cognitive things that are going on with your nervous system, your endocrine system. All of that has to be balanced for your body to heal itself. So that's what the focus needs to be as we go along as a people, rather than just giving into these pharmaceutical companies and taking their products at whims and not realizing how much damage it's doing to us as a people. So we're ready to I'm ready to come up. I mean, we've made some good progress here in Jamaica with Jamaica, believe it or not, and you guys probably won't even realize that, but it's a third or the second actually to India and I think China for holistic healing. People have been holistically and healing themselves in Jamaica for decades. For literally, the slaves used to know how to heal each other after a good beating or whatever they go through, the stress. They knew what herbs and what mechanism from Africa, how to heal each other, and they would survive that way. So we just have to bring that back to our people and let them understand that they have to take their wellness into their hands. They cannot leave it to any medical association or pharmaceutical association. Think about this. They're the biggest mafias in the world, especially the pharmaceutical companies. They control governments. They literally control the medical associations around the world. So, the chief medical officer of these small countries like even Jamaica have to succumb to these people, and basically whatever they say to give the people, give the people. And it goes the same way with GMO food, like Monsanto, what they used to do. Our prime minister, I found out, the past one, not this one, was an agent for Monsanto. So we had the most pesticide and stuff brought into our country. And during that time, we had a high case of cancer and other, nerve issues that were going on. So I'm touching a lot of things because I don't know how much time I have, but I mean, these are the things that we need to start, promulgating so that our people can understand what is going on or why we're having these untimely deaths and why even this virus is affecting us so much comparing to other races, because they have put us in a position to use things that are just deteriorating our immune system, making our what you call your endocrine system, your neurological system all depleted. And so by the time you get to a hospital to get help, they can't help you because they're going to give you the same things that got you there in the first place, which is GMO, GMO foods and GMO products, stuff that's made in the lab, artificial stuff that's supposed to be coming into a body that is physics and chemistry by God's hands. God made us that way. We're an energy source. So we need to stop relying on these drugs that, are not going to do anything for our energy more than just deplete us. So yes, we have a mission,
Okay. Well, we're going to have this discussion in the next few days.
Definitely.
And we discuss it even more in depth, how we're going to apply this and to transfer it across the board.
Definitely. And we need to organize with this great organization of this Weekender 2020. We need to extend it to retreats, in the Caribbean, Jamaica first, because we have a lot of places for these retreats that people can come and take their health back in their hands. We could call them Take Your Health Back 2020 or 2021 or what, but we need to make our people realize that they need to come to these 2-week retreats, and when they go back home, they don't have to rely on these medical established farce, which is all there for merchandising and money making. You know what I mean?
100%.
So that's something we could extend from this kind of Weekender. We have people meet. So as soon as I'm just looking forward to see what's going to happen in the election in the US, because I'm quite sure it depends on who wins. I think that COVID thing will go down drastically. Depends on who loses, it might get higher. So it's there's a lot going on with it. It could be. I think a lot of it is very political, especially in the United States. Of course, I know there's a virus, and I know it was made in the lab in Wuhan and all that stuff, and it was made as a biological weapon against the people of Hong Kong at first. But yeah, it did get out of hand, and it's all over the world right now. But people don't understand. It was made to control the people. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and at the other level is to now they want us to be so fearful that we are going to beg for their one chip vaccine, which is another way they're going to control you. And if they think you're not aligned with what they want, they can actually get rid of you through this chip. So I'm, as a medical doctor, basically they probably say I'm quackery, professing this, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we just got Bunny out of here. He's just wheeled out to the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
which is sad. That was his manager, Maxine Stowe. She does a lot of our what you call vintage artists. She works with a lot of them, but Bunny is her prize. Like she's very close to him as far as getting him back well and healthy. So they just brought him. So they're leaving. They're leaving the he's now leaving the center and going to Andrew's hospital.
Bless him,
So, but yeah, he's been my patient for the last year. I mean, you were funny. I love, when I was in college, I loved music. That was my second love, apart from health and wellness. And what happened was, I always admired the Jamaican artists and everyone else. And when I got here to do my practice, I ended up working with people like Bunny Wailer. I did Rita Marley, Sly from Sly and Robbie. We just recently lost what's his name? Because of the lockdown, I didn't get back here in time to treat him. I was locked out of the country for about 4 months. But I'm just saying it's funny because just to see me working with them when I was looking up at them as children, as a child, I was like, these guys, I admire their music so much, and to be working with them now in their golden years, it's amazing,
Yeah, it's definitely amazing.
I know. So what I was saying about Jamaica being the third country, it's the third country that use a lot of naturopathic nutraceuticals for healing, and what they have done. The big pharma and all the medical association, they've just like try to push that out of play in our country and bring in more of their their drugs and other things. So I don't want to say too much because you get targeted and that's not good. I mean, we have lost quite a few good holistic practitioners, medical doctors who have seen that they need to switch and treat people holistically, where it's mind, body, and soul balance for them to heal their body and to live healthy and to be, wellness. The best wellness that they can have is through a holistic approach. But the medical association and the pharmaceutical don't want to hear that because you're gonna tamper with their money machine. So I remember when I first got to Jamaica and started practicing about 8 years ago. They called the office I was at, and they were like, "Make sure he's not talking about healing diabetes and hypertension and those things, because So I'm like, why would they call and said I should not be professing that if we can do it through a holistic way of healing? Because it's their moneymaker. Diabetes and hypertension among Black countries are the biggest moneymaker. It's the easiest way for a medical doctor to make his money. Tell you that you have hypertension, you get more scared and your pressure go up. And then they try to put you on these drugs that they claim will bring it down. But eventually it's going to kill you. You know what I mean? And there's one of the best ways to deal with hypertension is to drink a lot of water and walk every morning 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes minimum, and then you see you flush out a lot of mucus, which actually stagnate the heart in the first place, and you'll also now get your circulation going from that walk each day, because it's slowing down of your circulation. Why the heart become harder to pump the blood and the oxygen throughout your body. But they don't want to tell you these things. They want to make you think, oh, you have hypertension, and then you get so scared you don't even think about that it's something simple that you can do to remedy it. You know. So these are the things that we need to let our people know, because those are the two big killers among Black people. Because you'd be surprised. Diabetes cause us to have cancer. Diabetes cause also strokes, because when the sugar stagnate in the blood and break off plaques, it goes to areas in our brain, block off oxygen, and that's how these strokes happen. So people have to understand that they need to get their health back in their hands by simple understanding what these disease that they label us with, what really they are, and how simple they are to be remedied through herbs, through exercise, through supplements, through just eating nutritionally healthy, eating nutraceuticals, dealing with nutraceuticals, which is what we want to manufacture out of here in Jamaica, and just get that around the world, because we have a lot of plants, a lot of herbs and stuff that we can use through phytonutrients research to make our own medicine and to keep us long livers. You know what I mean? Because Black people are originally long livers. That's what they were. They were the people that would. But nowadays, we are the ones struggling behind, because we're in a system and a society where they're giving us food genetically engineered to take us out early. You know what I mean? So that has to change.
Mm-hmm.
So is everybody? Are we still on? Or
yeah, we're still on. We're just going to talk about Marcus Garvey, who probably and
okay. Well, I have a good story. Dr. Julius Garvey, who's also 87 today. That's Marcus Garvey, younger son.
Okay.
He's also a business associate of mine. He is the CEO of Nascential. Nascential is based in England. I don't know if you know, there's a young man named Dexter, and then there's Adisa. Dexter, I think, has ties in Uganda. Adisa, Jamaican, and they have contacted me a while back about building this hospital in Uganda, and they got Dr. Julius Marcus Garvey involved as the CEO of the project, and he's also, these guys are Pan-Africanists, so that's one of the things, and they're planning to build a few hospitals throughout Central Africa, including Uganda, I think, the country close by, I think Kenya and all those countries in East Africa and Central Africa are going to be on the plan, and it will be a Pan-Africanist movement, project. So yes, that Dr. Garvey is alive and well. What they put that man through, they didn't realize that we'll still be talking about him today and forever. But his son is doing a good job. His son is his specialty is very dealing with veins, of what they call that. He's a surgeon, a varicose surgeon or something. Yeah, but he's retired, but he's still active in seeing this the wellness work extend around the world. We also have Dr. Hall, who's a neurosurgeon in Miami and also practices in Jamaica. So all a part of this. I think where the Pan-African movement is for me is to see our people healthy and strong for the fight for the next century, because we are going to get back to where we were, when we were royalties and when we were rich and when we were making, our own economic decisions, and, we just need to stay healthy to see this through, So and I think Marcus Garvey would have been proud to see our people getting aware and waking up from a long, long nightmare. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%. Brother Minister, Chakra.
Yes, sir.
Yes, as we're coming close to Marcus Garvey's birthday.
I know, my brother. We're getting close now. 45 minutes left.
We were just talking about his son. His son is 80 something.
His son is 87 today. Julius Garvey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Marcus Garvey Jr. is in Florida. He's been struggling with some health issues.
So he's a day before his own dad.
Huh?
I said he's a day before his own dad.
Yes, isn't that amazing? You know, yeah, I'm born today.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But he stayed low key. He practiced in Stony Brook, New York for many years. He went to McGill University, and but now he sees fit to carry on his father's legacy. In some way.
The people have to pay the price for peace. If you dare to struggle, you dare to win. If you dare not to struggle, then goddamn it, you don't deserve to win. Let me send peace to you if you're willing to fight for it. Let me say it in the spirit of liberation. I've been gone for a while.
So my leaders ass gone, all my leaders ass gone. I know they did you so wrong, I'm still standing here strong. Against all the wrongs, for my leaders ass gone. All my leaders ass gone. I know they did you so wrong, I'm still standing here strong. Against all the wrongs.
The electric alkaline tonic helps because it increases calcium, because calcium and vitamin D actually works together. So if you go to the doctor, majority of black people, after they test their serotonin, and say, oh yeah, you're lacking vitamin D. Mm-hmm. So they prescribe a pill for you. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the pill, it's full of calcium. Mm-hmm. So you're getting the same thing in a pill form. Mm-hmm. And from you take it in a pill form, it's a pharmaceutical, it's a detrimental to your body because we're trying to get rid of toxin. Mm-hmm. We're getting away from toxin. Mm-hmm. Toxin is a killer. And our people love taking pills. For some reason, we don't come to the herbalist until the very, very last moment.
I would say the reason being is because we have been socialized to see that as the norm. And I don't just think it's black people or African Caribbean people. I think this is people in general. That's why, pharmaceutical companies have such a great hold. The thing that's really sad, but like most African Caribbean community, we have a plethora of roots and herbs and tonics that has been passed on through the generation, and we've been socialized to leave what we know and take up with pharmaceutical.
Okay.
Well,
even if we do know about the pharmaceutical, is what they've told us. If you understand,
it's the marketing. It's their marketing ability. Because real quick, not to cut you, but 100 years ago, everybody was on the same playing field. So think about it: the homeopathics, the chiropractors, the naturopathics, the herbalists, they were all on the same playing field. They were all respected in their different areas of expertise. And the patients had a choice of going to a herbalist, a chiropractor, a orthopedist, a medical doctor, or what, because they were all on the same playing field. There was nobody in any special level or field superior. Rockefeller realized how much money to be made in health. After he invested so much money in oil, after he made so much money in oil, decided to turn his attention to pharmaceutical because he now wanted to create the 1,000. If you could read, you could research it. It's $1,000 pill, a pill that can worth $1,000, and that was 100 years ago. So you can imagine why medical thing is so expensive now that you have to take out an insurance policy to be able to insure yourself to get medicine when you get to a certain age. That's all the madness is about. Why would they need an insurance policy, which is what the Medicaid and all these stuff are, the insurance policy? Because the Rockefeller has sent these people now to all these medical schools. He sent a legion of marketers to convince the medical school to let him pay for these new buildings and these new research and stuff like that, so that they can create these drugs that they will give the doctors, and they will pay for these medical schools to increase their students and everything like that, so that they can become glorified salesmen of pharmaceutical products that he makes in his pharmacies, which is Pfizer and all the other ones. That was where the turning point came, where they make them feel special more than any other person, because guys like Rockefeller, Carnegie and stuff invested money into these universities and said we have to make these people a higher echelon so that they can sell their product. And that's why it's set up the way it is. And through marketing, they've convinced us that the medical doctors are now the better ones to go to.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to put on a white coat and everyone believes what you say.
That's the frightening thing. The frightening thing about all this. We're so trusted of these people. And right now, people, look around you. Look very well. Look at the so-called pandemic. Look how much people is said to be dying all over the world. Someone is lying. Somebody is lying. And these people who we love so much and respect so much, they're the one who's lying.
They don't even want to see you. The sad thing is, this big pandemic, if they were so trusting, why aren't they allowing you to come to see them?
And if they were so for the people, why have they
hiding from us?
Hiding from their home patient? Answer that. This is the one time that you people out there, the Galaxy family and whosoever is listening, think about this. Why, in the time of the greatest need, so they say.
I have an electric blood cleaner that I've been using since I got here, and it's been doing wonders. I feel like I'm on cloud 9 when I take it. It doesn't make you high. That's why I said I'm on cloud 9. I just feel good.
Royal Maroon, Safirika. You know Royal Maroon in Peckham?
Royal Maroon, yes, I know it.
Yes, you can get it in there. Are you from this area?
No, Royal Maroon is in Peckham.
Yeah, how far do you live?
Walthamstow.
Okay, you can get it also, Leytonstone High Road, Thatched House.
Thatched House, oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a shop right there, a farmer shop.
Sorry, say that again?
Yeah, right there at Thatched House on Leytonstone High Road. There's a shop right there called a farmer shop. It's a new shop, been open about a year. You know, it stocks my stuff. Also, wait a minute, Leighton Midland Station, Drumbeat. You know, Drumbeat is a restaurant there that deals with also holistic stuff. They also stock my thing as well. So over East London, you don't have to come so far. You can get it right in East London.
Is it bitter blood one there?
Yeah, it was alkaline, electric alkaline.
Yeah, what about the red one that I've been trying in the morning, that you drink in the morning?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking. Electric alkaline tonic.
So yours is red though, and that one I see there is kind of...
Can we keep that to the mic? You tell me your private conversation. And this is not telling.
I think he's making a special one for himself. No, I'm just messing with you. No, the one he's giving me is different. I'll remind you which one it is.
Yeah, you can get that right there. Drumbeat or Leytonstone High Road. Winties also, and Upton Lane. Upton Lane.
Is any of this on your website?
Yes, it's our. Oh, yeah.
So, do you want to give people your website?
Yeah, I'll give you my website. Is that?
Because that way they can catch exactly.
Places, right?
Yeah, it's there on it. Last one standing, one word. .org.uk. Yeah, one word. Last one.
Last. LAST. Right?
Yeah.
LAST, not lost.
Also, we just found it online, and it's only showing only the drinks. It doesn't show all the products.
I'm gonna slap that boy.
All right, he's gonna slap the guy who's doing this.
We won't give out the numbers right now, but we will give out the numbers later. Did you? Oh boy,
All right,
slap the boy there.
You're not doing the job right.
Sistrin.
We'll get it updated for you though, definitely. But
yeah, they will be updating it. We'll continue to give out the website address. No doubt they've got a phone number, but instead of giving out the phone number umpteen times, because I'm assuming that other people are going to be calling in, we're going to give out the number across the show. So they're going to be on for at least another hour, I hope.
Okay.
Yeah, and because I think they just started to share and really get into the
into
the functionality of things here. We're just getting.
Well, thank you very much, sis. Do you have another question before you land?
So basically, it's the liver that the company is cleaning, and it's the blood.
Right, and the spleen.
And the spleen.
Right, the spleen is where the blood starts. You know, the creation of it is. It starts with the spleen, go through the heart, and comes around for cleaning down by the liver. So
yeah, is that okay, sis?
So you could think in that function.
Yeah, that's okay. You went to say last one standing, it sometimes sounds like last man standing.
I know, that's why I correct you. Last, LAST.
Wrong thing.
Last one standing.
Because we are going to be the last one standing. And it can't be a man, it's got to be us, women and man standing together in one unity.
Right.
That is why that was created. Last one standing.
So it's appropriate for now because the pandemic is to get rid of most of us.
To get rid of what?
Most of us.
And we're not going nowhere.
So we're going to be standing.
We're going to be standing to the end.
That's we.
Exactly.
That is us.
We've been there from the beginning, so we might as well stay to the end. That's what black people are. From the beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm. All right, sis.
For your help, I definitely need to get this off of my bitter drink.
Yes.
And cut out the sugar and the sweet.
And the salt.
And the mucus, that thing that they call milk, is just cow pus.
And the thing about it also, the cheese, the wave of the cheese, what you now throw away, you have now turned it into power drink, where the people are now using it.
Like I said, the neem leaf. If I get the neem leaf, how long do I boil it for?
No, you don't boil it. Just boil the hot water, steep it.
Yeah, often. Yeah, steep it. Often, sis, depending on whether it's a root, the leaf, or the bark, or what have you, will determine how you pull the nutrients from out of it.
Right.
And that is pretty standard in terms of when you're dealing with roots and herbs. So if you were to just quickly Google that will tell you.
From those days, the radiation poisoning has started. Radiation poisoning actually started in 1918 when they claimed it was the Spanish flu, and it was the first advance of AM radio and those other things, and FM. That's when the radiation started hitting the air, and all of a sudden these people are getting sick from something that's radiation poisoning.
Now, I'm sorry to jump in there, but Dr. Olver, are you alluding to 5G?
So today, what is the big radiation problem that we're having?
The
Not
5G
and it's not just 5G
and
alone.
4G.
5G just add to the madness.
Yeah.
You had the Wi-Fi radiation going on. You have the microwave for a long time. You have all these other radiation. So why do we get sick? Why our cells get sick? Why they die? You zapping them with radiation for so long. What do you think is going to happen?
So what? You're a qualified doctor. You know your stuff. It's quite evident. What do you think, if anything, these pylons that they're putting up? And you know with the 5G, because it can't go through walls, because it you need more
of them,
more of the pylons, and because it doesn't penetrate through herbs. So, what do you think the long term or even short term impact that could have on our body at a cellular level? That the doctors, the organisers who are putting that together may not be telling us.
Right. Since I've been in Jamaica and I've been treating a lot of autoimmune diseases like thyroidism, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, all the things that are sound so wonderful to these medical doctors to say back to you. Since I've been treating them, all we're realizing is that a lot of them are formed from of course, GMO food, but also all the radiation that's around us that's destroying our system. So what you do, before I even know about the shungai, the shungai is from Russia actually. It's manufactured plenty in Russia. It destroys radiation around you. It protects your body from radiation. I used to also recommend the iodine trace mineral, the one with the trace mineral, that kill radiation damages. That deals with radiation damage in your body, like cells that are that are being affected by radiation, like microwave, any kind of microwave, all the FM radio, all of that stuff is microwave. All the cell phones are microwave. But the sad thing about, cancer might go up about another 10% maybe with the 5G, but cancer has been slowly rising since we've been introduced to food.
Can I just quickly ask a question? And this is because I visited Peckham and Rise Up Peckham Market. I visited Peckham and I visited a brother, Sister Anua, I can't remember his name, but he was just reminding us how we should re-energize our shungai and to make sure we do you know how to re-energize your shungai?
No.
Okay, if there's anybody that's listening, do you know?
Yeah.
Oh come, this is one of the you can't sit there,
You lot out there who's growing this thing, remember, be mindful of what you do, because it can go back and haunt you later on down the road.
So although they might see it as just having a little puff, it ain't that simple.
I'm making a lot of money by growing it, but there is a consequence sometime to pay.
Right, well thank you very much. I'm going to go to my callers. I've got 2 new callers just come online. I think one of them is taxi driver. Greetings.
Yeah, live on direct, live on direct, your guest in the inside there.
Studio.
Something that inveigled me to hold that I was on a job, so the job just finished now, so got the opportunity to speak to you said something quite fundamental.
Let's hear it.